Speaker is Representative Kasha Kelly from Kansas. She's the CEO of First Intermark Corporation, Arkansas City, Kansas. She's a second-term member of the Kansas House of Representatives. She serves on the Commerce and Labor and Government Technology and Efficiency Committees. She's the Vice Chair of the General Government Budget Committee. She also represents the Kansas House and the Public Finance Transparency Board. And one of the things I really admire her for is she led the way to establish the Kansas Taxpayer Transparency Act, which was the first act passed in the country. And as kind of a relatively new legislator, when she wasn't able to get it through during the regular legislative process, she didn't give up. She was able to find a way over and around and get it passed and enacted into law. I appreciate her coming today because not only is she in a re-election battle, but she's a new mom, has a son named Thatcher. Representative Kelly.
Being a new mom messes with your mind, I've found. I'm actually a little bit of an older mom, and I would have brought a picture of our website had I thought about it, but I was kind of concerned with figuring out how to get out of town. Thank you. Get out of town and get here and take care of the new baby. I am incredibly grateful to be here. I really am. I think this is an amazing movement that's going across America, and there are people in the room, Americans for Tax Reform, have just been invaluable. Senator Fabry, Reverend Norquist, obviously Bob and company, and getting this moving. And I don't think there's anything more important that we could be doing right now in terms of bringing trust back to government. I am just a regular person serving in the Kansas House. And one of the things that really, really bothers me, in fact, I actually came to the legislature as somebody who, in our business, complained a lot about different things that were going on in the government, not really understanding why, and our business taxes going up and not really understanding why, and wanting to know how that money was spent. And after a while, you think, okay, you better get out there and do something and not just sit here and complain. So transparency was not only a personal issue with me, but the fact that you hear people say so often, we don't trust you guys. We don't trust what's going on. I know in our state, and I don't know how it is this year, I have a couple of colleagues in the room, so jump up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the legislature in our state, we always get a lower approval rating than the governor, which to me is stunning, but yet there are times that we earn that through lack of information that we share with people. And that is greatly unfortunate because the role of government, as we all know, has a very limited role, a very purposeful role. And those of us who really understand that should be the guardians and work like the dickens to take back the trust of the people and tell them, there are folks out there you can trust. There are folks out there who are willing and wanting to show you what's going on. And by golly, if we are doing the work of the people, should we be scared to put it in front of them? Should we be scared for it to be judged? Absolutely not. We all have differing opinions, no doubt about it, but it should be put out there to be discussed by the very people who finance it. I just want to give you a very quick walk through what happened in Kansas, and I am proud of the fact that we were the first state in the nation to pass it. It was not without battle, and that battle has crossed over 2 sessions, and I'm pleased to now say that we are open for business and have been since March of 2008. I started in my, I guess that would have been my beginning of my sophomore year on the transparency bill, which could not be found online right now if you tried to find it for all of the efforts to block it by our Senate. And I do have a senator colleague in here, and I know he didn't vote that way, but some of the others did. So the first transparency bill, oddly enough, if you ever tried to find it online, you wouldn't be able to find it online because it was stripped and replaced with some other measures. But House Bill 2730 was where we started, and we worked that through the House in I think, a most amazing fashion. I don't know how the committee processes work in your state, but we often don't have time to spend on the subjects that we ought to have time to spend on. However, the transparency bill in the committee that it went through actually had 4 days of testimony. And that's kind of unheard of, at least in our committees, unless you're talking energy. You really have to move on. And we had about 4 days of testimony on this. We had a lot of back and forth, and we had a lot of compromise. And compromise, it was fine. We came out with a better bill. We had good Democrat input, we had good Republican input, and our Department of Administration, which was the entity charged with executing the website, actually had input. So we came out with a really good bill. We ran it through the House, and the vote was 102 to 20. So you can say that it passed handily and in a nice bipartisan fashion. And went over to our Senate, where it completely came to a grinding halt. The first thing that was done, it was double referred. And I don't know in your states how it works, but in our state, a double referral is meant to deem sick something. So it was double referred to a couple of committees in the Senate. Neither chairman had, I don't think, any intent to ever run the bill. So we waited and waited, and kind of tried to work the avenues through the session, and finally realized it wasn't going anywhere. Was pretty disappointed. Was sitting in the House one day, and somebody ran over and said, "Tasha, you need to come over to the Senate. One of the senators is amending your transparency bill onto one of our budget bills." I said, "You're kidding me." And so ran over there, and of course he was amending it in whole. We hadn't been able to talk about it. I didn't even know that he was going to, and so I was trying to quickly feed notes. There was a lot of arguing going on the Senate floor about this, which astounds me. And I really, really can't believe that. But one of the things that I want to do, incidentally, in terms of transparency, is I would love to see us be broadcast. We are on the net, but I don't know how many people actually go and listen. I would like them to actually get to look at our face as we stand down there and we say the things that we say at the podium. I think that would be interesting. And I think we're moving in that direction actually in Kansas, and I'm eager for us to get there. But there was a lot of argument going on the Senate floor, and one of the main issues that came up was that it was going to cost $40 to $50 million. $40 to $50 million. I mean, if you designed a website, you all know you get a $40 to $50 million website. I want to see that sucker, because that's going to be one heck of a website. $40 to $50 million, though. That's what was being told. Now, incidentally, we were at the same time, and still are in the midst of redesigning our financial management system through the Department of Administration. That financial management system is projected to cost $40 to $50 million, which I think, frankly, is far too much, but that is the price tag that they have on it right now. Conveniently, because we were going to build the website into the front end of that financial management system, the opponents took the little number of 40 to 50 million and ran with it and said, the state can't afford this. The taxpayers can't afford this $40 to $50 million thing. And that was an effective argument, and one that I had to really arm wrestle. And in fact, I Googled our transparency site just the other night, and there are some articles on there that says it took $40 to $50 million to get this through in Kansas. I'm just thinking, come on. But the fact of the matter is, it was $0. We did it within existing resources. We didn't spend one penny of the taxpayers' dollars to get it done. The Department of Administration really saddled up, and they did